Inmates of Reddit. What was the stupidest thing you've seen a new inmate do on his first day in prison? Story 1. Father-in-law did 12 years on a second-degree murder rap back in the very early 90s. He told me that one time, this new guy plopped himself down at the Hells Angels table and started eating breakfast. When he was told to move, he ignored them. After breakfast, the COs ended up having to cut through about 6 rolls of duct tape to get the guy loose. He never sat near the HAs again. Story 2. Not me, but my dad. A guy came in bragging about what he did, said he was a monster and the toughest guy around and that he could take anybody on in the pen. Giving him the benefit of the doubt, he apparently was a pretty big and tough guy. Come to find out though, he was in for the assault, rape, then murder of a woman and her child. He might have been big and tough, but not after 5 big guys beat the absolute shit out of him and practically killed him. As most of you know, the one thing all prisoners can agree on is that anyone who messes with kids or women is on an immediate hit list. The women thing might have just been a rule amongst him and the people he ran with. Story 3. Where I was in prison, they utilized 40mm soft round launchers to respond to group disturbances. Let me tell you, they weren't soft. A kid comes in thinking he's still hardcore from juvenile hall because guards there didn't do anything when people fought. He decided to up and join a gang that he knew nothing about on his first day, thought he was tough, and started to diss the gang they had high tensions with at the time, which started a group disturbance. COs respond, tell him to get down, he refuses and curses at them. Boom, 40mm to his face. It was an accidental shot to the face, according to the CO. His face was distorted as hell after. Fractured skull. On his first day. Story 4. There was an old myth that if you challenged the meanest guy in your block to a fight, everyone else would leave you alone. It's true, no one will torment you if you're dead. A kid tried it and got dropped off the 5th tier. First day in general population, last day in general population. Most guys just want to do their time alone. Most rape and violence in prison is about debt or tax. If you play it straight, 98% of guys will just leave you alone. Messing someone up on the yard makes your time worse, not better. Loss of privilege, time in solitary, most people don't want that. Most of the straight-up psychopaths are in 23rd of January lockdown anyway. If you get in debt or shoot your mouth off, you will get settled or taxed. Both are to be avoided. Story 5. This may not have been his first day, but I will never forget this. This was while I was in the intake tank, which is the first tank or section you go into after being processed in county. This young kid comes into county and keeps complaining that he doesn't get his cannabinol and other marijuana-related prescriptions in jail. He was really arrogant and constantly pissing everyone off. During count 1 day, as we were all in our bunks, he starts complaining again and then says to the guard, "What if we all riot?" Immediately, like 10 other guys yell very loudly, "We don't know or agree with him." The guard then says, "What the phonic did you say?" The kid then continues about rioting and that he has rights. Everyone in the tank stays frozen in their bunks, trying their best to be non-threatening and also show they have no interest in what this moron is saying. So the guard picks him up by his throat and slams him into the wall. After scaring the kid shitless, he explains he has a new charge for inciting a riot. The kid gets hauled off to solitary. Never saw him again, but I heard he spent the rest of his 30 to 60 to 90, whatever amount, days in solitary. Absolutely insane to me that he'd say that in a county jail. Story 6. Just going to generalize. Small town folk who are used to being the biggest and baddest. Big fish, small pond types who think they are going to be king when they walk in. They usually are dominated pretty quickly, dominated being either beaten or made into a beat prey. Best bet if you go to prison, hopefully no one ever goes, is unless you know someone well connected on the inside. Just keep your head down, focus on yourself, and do your time. It's going to be boring, menial, and seemingly endless. But you don't want to get caught up in any gang stuff or be snitching. There's a code and system in prison that needs to be followed. And if you walk in like king shit of Turd Hill when you are a nobody, you will learn real quick that you ain't nothing. If you like to watch more videos, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell.